Start to this season's Champions League. Tell me what you think about the performance, please.
Yeah, it was always important to start well. We did that. A tough away game as well, first up. So that's a bonus. And they're a very good team, well organised. They play good football, and we've had a up and down week or so as well. So it was important to bounce back with a good performance. We did that, and I expected nothing less from this group of players.
On that note, the week you've had, versatility, something that you know about, of course, as a player yourself. Fabinho goes into the centre of defence. Talk me through the clearance off the line and how you think he did in defence.
Yeah, he's a top player, so top players can adapt, and he did that. He's played there before and done it extremely well. So unbelievable clearance as well, obviously. But I thought it was a good team performance. It was very tough out there. They're a good team. It was a physical battle as well. Conditions were tricky, so it was a bit like an old-fashioned English game, really, and we managed to grind out the win, and that was the most important thing tonight. Just make sure we get the 3 points.
Odd own goal.
Yeah, but you take anything. Like you say, we had enough chances, really. We were disappointed not to score more first half, especially we had a good number of counter-attacks where we didn't finish off the situation with the right last ball. But it's a big clean sheet, I think, especially with the changes we've made and coming here, they're a good team, so it's important to get that clean sheet, and the own goal was enough.
How do you think Curtis Jones got on his debut in Europe for the club?
Yeah, he's a very good player. I'm sure it'll be the first of many, and the changes and things like that. So he didn't know he was playing until quite late yesterday. So he's a very good player. I thought he did well. It's no reflection on him coming off at half time, and it's the first of many European nights for him because he's a top player.
We'll let you get dry. Well done.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yeah, nice words from James Milner. Grind it out. That's what they did, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, and at this stage of the tournament, when it's the early stages here, all you're thinking about is just getting as many points on the ball quick as you can, so then you can maybe rest players later on in the group stages. But we always set 10 points. They've got 3 away from home. They've just got to win your home games in the through. So it is definitely the toughest game, I would say, in the group. Atalanta are a decent side,
as we know.
but I think Ajax, they pose problems, and they showed that in the first half. They showed what they're about. But Liverpool, experience, character, the way they played, they got them through, grinded it out.
You mentioned it before, Michael, that the important thing was a clean sheet, not just because you're going to win from that. It's more kind of psychologically, isn't it, with the loss of Van Dijk?
Yeah, I mean, all the questions all week, Jurgen Klopp and the team have been fielding is about Van Dijk, about Alisson being out. And of course, they didn't have those 2 players a couple of seasons ago, and that's what everyone knew that they needed, and Jurgen Klopp went and bought them and didn't mess about, paid the big money for the best in the world in each position. Now they're out for a period of time. Of course, questions are going to be directed in that way, but I just think that if he could have had anything tonight, it would have been a clean sheet. It just almost dampens everything down a bit now, and everyone can get on with it, because Liverpool have still got world-class players everywhere on the pitch.
I suppose the other bonus, Peter, in many ways, will be the fact that he managed to get 3 points and give the front three a bit of a rest the last half an hour or so.
Yeah, I don't know if that was pre-planned or what, because on 60 minutes on the dot, they both went off, didn't they? And I think that's managing to see out the game
with a lump of ice on his knee, which is
but I mean, a lot of players have that. I mean, how many players after a game have a load of ice on their knees? So hopefully that's nothing, not reading into too much there. I think the rest will do them good. They've got 3 points on the board against a very good Ajax side, having rested quite a few of the players as well. So hopefully they'll be firing all cylinders on the weekend.
Yeah, let's have a look at the goal.
A scruffy finish, but no question about it, his first touch was brilliant, and that was a theme, I thought, in the first half. I mean, Firmino's first touch was unbelievable. Salah's. I thought the front three were quite sharp in that first half.
Yeah, and Fabinho as well, we talked about him. 5th game at as a central defender. 4 clean sheets he's made, including games against Bayern and Chelsea, I believe.
And he's probably been the best player in each of them games, especially the Bayern and Chelsea games. He was probably the standout defender on both of them occasions. And listen, this guy's a top off
midfield player when you kind of start. How hard is it going from being a midfield player to a central defender? Is it easier that way round? Or?
Maybe you get to see the game a lot. It's a lot slower when you sit at the back. You're receiving the ball facing the game. You're not receiving the ball with people behind you, so you can't see it, and your awareness is very different.
You've got to be really intelligent though to adapt from playing in midfield and then to adapt to strikers' runs behind you.
I can't believe you're giving defenders any credit, Gary.
No, but it is a difficult situation.
Being sarcastic.
The problem he's got is that he's filling the boots of one of the best defenders in the world, if not the best defender at the moment. So it's huge pressure. Not only for him, but Gomez as well. It's pressure for him. He's an actual defender. He's going to be looked at to be expected to lead that back four now. Can he do it? That's the question that's going to be asked.
Yeah. It's a different role, isn't it? I mean, I suppose it helps is the fact that he's obviously a very good footballer, but it's a totally different skill and mindset, isn't it?
It's some of the best centre-halves that I've played with, played in midfield for a while. Ledley King was so comfortable on the ball, he moved into midfield for a time. Rio's done it. Fabinho can obviously do it. I think he can bring that midfield side to his game, his element of his distribution, his passing the ball, but he reads the game so well, he's intelligent, and that's the main thing. I think in all the games that I've seen him play at centre-half, he's been first class. The game against Chelsea, I think Werner was 1v1 against him a couple of times. You don't have to be the quickest in the world, but if you read the game as well as he does, you can.
And I think what helps him is the fact that they are not playing that really, really crazy offside rule.
Well,
if they step back and give him
Gomez
that a bit of time,
much more comfortable not playing that way.
I think the
well.
whole back four look more comfortable. If he has that time to assess and see things by taking a step back rather than being too much on the front foot. And we spoke about off a screen with your momentum always going forward, rather than running back and matching people stride for stride, he's got a better chance of showing real quality in that position.
Yeah, I think he can dictate that as well because, OK, he's the new boy in the back, but he's got all the experience. And don't forget, he's a defensive midfielder, so he's used to seeing things, to sniffing out danger. And I thought he was the catalyst, actually, of sometimes, taking the line back and dropping. I thought he showed some real defensive quality.
OK, let's pop back to Amsterdam and the Johan Cruyff Arena because Andy Mayer's got Robin van Persie with him.
Robin, what do you think about that in terms of how Liverpool really managed their situation with the lack of players through injuries, but they've got off to a winning start?
Yeah, Liverpool did well. They clearly missed their main players. Virgil at the back, of course, is a big miss. Thiago, although he didn't play a lot, he's a world-class player. But Ajax had the bigger chances tonight. They played quite well. Ajax, they had 4 or 5 clear chances, and normally they actually take one of them. Not tonight. So I think Liverpool have been lucky tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the Fabinho chance and they hit the post as well with Klaassen.
Yeah.
So really, they'll feel like they should have got something from this.
Yeah, I do believe so. Ajax did well, created many chances, but didn't get their goal. For me, it was like in the first hour, it was a joy to watch Mane. Mane is his movement, how he holds up the ball, his link-up play. He's like I would pay to watch him. He's a fantastic player to watch. And in the second half, you could see that Liverpool was searching in the first half, but when Henderson arrived, when he came on, you could see his leadership. He was yelling to his teammates to go on every single duel. He was really well on the ball, confident. That was like a proper mature player there, their real captain. So he made a big difference as well in the second half.
Cheers, Robin. I'll let you get dry now as well. What about the performance?
Good enough to win the game. That's what you need. But of course, I think both teams can play better football. It was in moments pretty wild. I really think that the pitch was really tricky. It was like deep, muddy a little bit, even when you can see it from outside. But it was like this because both teams looked really exhausted pretty early, and that looked 3 days ago completely different. That looked yesterday in training completely different. But it was with Ajax the same, and we are early in the season, and so that cannot be the reason really. But you need to score a goal. We did that. We didn't use our chances, which is a bit of a shame. Ajax had a big one with the post directly after half time. Of course, when you only 1-0 up, these things of course can happen. But all over, I'm really fine with the game because it was not our sunny shine world-class football day. But then, especially in a tournament like the Champions League, you still need the result, and we got it.
As well as Klaassen's shot, there was the chance that was cleared off the line by Fabinho as well.
Oh, yes, yes.
We were talking about your defence, but the midfielder did all right.
Yeah, in that moment, yeah. So I had that situation not 100%. I don't know how it happened in the beginning, but in the end, that's how it is. That's what the boys did actually. It's a good example of how the boys played today. So it was not perfect, but they fought like crazy, and that's what you need. And in that situation, of course, it helped massively, and in another situation as well. Apart from that, But I really liked the fresh legs what we brought on with the 3 changes up front. That helped. Hendo was not. The medical department told me no 90 minutes. Okay, no problem. Then we play 45. He did really well. Curtis for his first appearance. Reece Williams had his first Champions League appearance. He played last season non-league football, and now he had a few minutes in the Champions League. The boy will not forget that forever. It's nicer to win the game, your first one, and so a lot of nice stories and 3 points.
Those 3 changes on the hour mark, is that part of you already having to think about game management? Goodison obviously last weekend, you've got Sheffield United coming up this weekend, even this early in the season.
That's one thing. Game management is one thing. The other thing is use the power of the others. You saw they were fresher. They were hardest working. I'm a bit ashamed that Diogo didn't score. Shaq was lively with unbelievable, and Taki is a machine. He's everywhere. He defends like a devil, and then offensively he's really involved. Nice 1-2s together with Diogo on the side where they came in the box. Yeah, that helps. Obviously, I said when you can make 5 changes in midweek games, probably most of the time we will have to do that.
Well done, Jurgen.
Thank you.
He's happy, found a lot of positives. And I suppose the one he said, it wasn't our most scintillating, super shiny football. But it's that old adage, isn't it? If you can win when you're not at your very best, that's half the battle.
Yeah, it wasn't vintage Liverpool, let's be honest. It wasn't the best they've played, but they've got the result. And like he said as well, he's managed to rest players. He's gave a Champions League debut to a couple of players. There was a lot of positives to come out of it, and none more so than the clean sheet.
Yeah, and Michael, Ajax did have those chances, didn't they? So it could have been different, but
Klopp there, they'd done what they needed to do: get the 3 points, rested a few players for the next Premier League game, and they've got some young players blooding into the first team, and so he'd have been totally happy with that. And yeah, it was obviously strange to hear that the pitch was a bit soggy and stuff, which was sapping for energy in the legs and stuff, but. They got through it, and that's all you need to ask.
Anyone catch your eye from Ajax? It's always worth looking at them, isn't it, for futures?
Very composed and accustomed at this level.
It was a shame Kudos went off early, wasn't it? Because he's exciting young talent as well.
He is, yeah. I was actually, he's a talent, and the lad on the other wing as well. I thought he was going to give Trent Alexander problems today, but he went and played against Robertson. So they switched over a little bit, caused Liverpool a few problems. But as I said, I always felt Liverpool were comfortable. Yeah. And even if they conceded one, a draw in your first game away from home wouldn't have been a bad result.
And a better start than they got last season away to Napoli when they obviously didn't win that game. So. It's all in all positive night for Liverpool. Yeah, positive. Listen, it's not one they're going to remember having the Champions League nights that they've had in the past, but it's a win on the board, and it's a step in the right direction for this group. Yeah, and they want to win the group because that's always key, isn't it?
It is key, yeah. It's not always been the case, but listen, they're going to be one of the favourites for this tournament. Oh, yeah. They're looking way beyond the group stage, but a great start. Listen, it's not the be-all and end-all tonight, but it's a huge start. Now just a couple of good results at home. Yeah. And they're through to the knockout stage. Final thoughts?
Very good. Done what they needed to do. Yeah. Don't have to do no more. You don't want to waste your top performances at this stage of the tournament. Get the result, move on. Yeah.